Here we go. Praise and reproach to myself. I'm just gonna move this over there. I have tried, whether with fortune or failure I cannot say, to live in that uncertain territory where clarity grazes melancholy. I've clung to the idea that thinking is not an accessory act, nor a pastime for scholars, but a way of breathing. I have wanted to understand, and that desire to understand has become my way of existing, a habit that sometimes hurts, for it dissects what others prefer to leave whole. I called the supermarket in Treehouse Isekai Colmart, just to avoid advertising. Why not Jamart? Like James Mart? I think Jamart would be fucking hilarious. It's the Jamart. What's James' last name? Oh, that's right. He's a Waltrin. So it would have to be, yeah, it would have to be his first name, not his last name. Could be Tron Mart. Ron Mart. Ron Mart. Or Alt Mart. What about Alt Mart? Got a lot of names in there. If he owned the place, maybe, but he's just shopping there. I was just making fun, Sean. But that's funny. Colmart. It's close enough, but it's not close enough. Ah! Okay. I have tried, whether with fortune or failure I cannot say, to live in that uncertain territory where clarity grazes melancholy. I've clung to the idea that thinking is not an accessory act, nor a pastime for scholars, but a way of breathing. I've wanted to understand, and that desire to understand has become my way of existing, a habit that sometimes hurts, for it dissects what others prefer to leave whole. Like burger employer? Maybe he'll get some grub there? True. I've recognized myself in the obstinacy of structures, in the need to impose order where confusion reigns. Perhaps there is in that a will to save something, a rescue, a measure of thought before it is devoured by triviality. I love rigor because within it I find consultation. I love precision because it is the last refuge of truth. And yet I reproach myself for that same vigor that has sometimes become my mask, for having mistaken exaltitude for revelation and distance for purity. I reproach myself for having thought at times that emotion must be tamed lest it stain clarity, as though feelings were a kind of noise. I have wanted to write beautifully. Shit, there's one thing I forgot to do. Hold on. So this is how I promote it. The final story in Lisa Lives Forever, my biotech horror series. Will Sam be able to stop Lisa from devouring the world through the network? Find out in this chilling closing act of the series. Grab people's attention right off the bat. Seems more personable instead of just being, here's my shit. It's like, this is why. I have wanted to write beautifully. Shit! Yup. Oh yeah, and I should also promote it in my own... You know, I should promote it in my own Discord, don't you think? That'd probably be smart, to promote it in my own Discord. It's my Discord after all. I can do what the fuck I want with it, right? Okay. For having mistaken exact Discord you own? Nah, no way. I wouldn't be able to moderate my own Discord, right? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You'll never know what it was, but it's not that. Trust me, it's not that. Okay, for having mistaken exactitude for elevation and distance for purity. I reproach myself for having thought at times that emotion must be tamed lest it stain clarity, as though feelings were a kind of noise. I have wanted to write beautifully, not out of vanity, but from the conviction that beauty can be the consequences of thought well expressed. The word, for me, is no ornament, but a tool of knowledge, a verbal geometry seeking to sustain the ineffable without surrendering to it entirely. Yet I reproach myself also for the tenacity to take refuge in language. Okay, this is a really, really offshoot tangent, but I just remembered something and I thought it was hilarious. And Ray, you might be the only one that was here for it. Do you remember in the past when I was talking about... Where is it? Yeah. You should always have a typo in something because it drives engagement, because people will always want to correct your mistakes. So always make sure there's some sort of mistake in like what you're posting in order to make people like drive engagement. And Tectone literally fucking tweeted this today. I was like, dude, am I that far ahead of the fucking curve and I don't know it? I thought it was fucking amazing. I was like, exactly! Those people that can't help but nitpick will drive your numbers through the roof. And they'll be like, oh, look at this guy, he made a typo in his thing! And the next thing you know, you have 10k views. So maybe I should take that to heart with more things, because it's a philosophy I hold, but it's like, it's something that's hard to do as a writer, right? It's like, oh, that's so bad. But you're one of those people that would point one out so you understand how powerful it can be. And do you really care if someone thinks you have a fucking typo in your shit? No. Fuck cares. It's a typo. Typos fucking happen. Geometry seeking to sustain the ineffable without surrendering to it entirely. Yet I reproach myself also for that tendency to take refuge in language, as if words alone could justify existence. Deep down, I know this. Every intellectual architecture needs air, and the air lies outside, in risk, in the friction with the living. I fear that, at times. I have tried to keep that air at a distance, for fear it would undo me. I'm sure most people who watch, Asmon, Hassan, and Tectone just hate him. Oh, 100%. They are definitely those people that have probably a majority hater audience. At least through, like, advertisement, right? The way that their advertisement is through hate watching. And people hating on them and talking about them. And as Asmund said, every person who thinks bad of me is a future viewer. Because one day they will say, you know what? Is he really as bad as everyone says? They'll pop into the stream, they'll hear a normal take, and they'll be a viewer. They're all future viewers. I hate autocorrect. It keeps trying to translate my shot, yo. Spanish. Fuck. Oh man, that's brutal. I always turn autocorrect off. I fucking hate, like, auto-typing shit, because I didn't grow up with auto-typing and spell check and that, and I don't care if I'm spelling shit properly. It's like, I had this one tweet where some guy was like, do you read out your chat? And then I was like, I don't have anyone that watches me, but I pretend I have 100 people, and then I pretend that I'm reading messages from a different platform in order to make it look like people are watching me. I got a fuck ton of hate for that. It was fucking hilarious. Like, you're lying to your audience! That's faking engagement, man! I go fully on schizo. I talk to myself on stream. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And the whole point was, yes, to rage bait people. Because people are fucking dumb. I fear that, at times, I have tried to keep that air at a distance for fear it would undo me. But even when I have sought to breathe that air, I found myself inhabiting an interior multitude. Thought, when it turns upon itself, is not a single voice, but a chorus arguing in the shadows. There are days when to medicate feels like sitting in a theater full of murmurs. Every idea begs to speak, every doubt demands its turn. From those inner conversations emerge ghosts, ghosts of reason, that encircle me with unsettling familiarity. Sometimes I believe I'm arguing with the world, only to discover that I've always been arguing with myself. No thought is entirely alien. Errors, dogmas, doubts, enthusiasms, all bear my face, multiplied. Reading, in that sense, is an act of radical humility. No one truly finishes reading a good book. What one reads continues reading us afterward. Exactly, you'll take it with you. You'll expand on it and incorporate it into your life if it's really that good, right? No one truly, what one reads continues reading us afterward. We approach an author hoping to learn something, but only if we do so humbly, for understanding is never possession. If even the totality of a thought, either that of a philosopher nor of a poet, can be captured without losing its folds. At times, I wonder whether we truly absorb knowledge from books. I think not. What happens is humbler and harder. Books awaken something already within us, though asleep. That is why one must think, and think deeply, lest thought rot in the laziness of what is already known. The monsters of reason, when they appear, usually have eyes. I've always feared two things, death and madness. The loss of reason, that exile of Nebuchadnezzar, who wandered 7 years among beasts, or even the mere resemblance of Klaus Finsky. And one night I dreamed something that still unsettles me. I argued with a man, he was me, a clone, who asked about me. At first I denied knowing whom he spoke of. Quarrel turned into a fight, and I awoke. But the dream returned again and again, like a television series, with more clones each time. I ended up fighting dozens of myself, like Neo against the army of Agent Smiths in The Matrix Reloaded, Wachowski, 2003. Surrounded by versions of me repeating with my same words, my same doubts, my same certainties. Yes, I have cultivated irony as defense, not as weapon. Irony is my way of keeping thought from pomp. of reminding it that no concept, however exact, escapes the obscurity of being alive. Absurdity of being alive. Yet I reproach myself for having used it too as a trench, as though mocking excess could excuse me from feeling it. Fucking ads, give it goddamn, go up in the fucking kettle where you go to it, but we're not gonna have it go in the way you want it to, cause it's bad. Let's go. I might break what I'm gonna... Guys, this is how much I hate ads. You see this? Watch this. This is how much I hate ads. Wait for it. Ah! What about... What about this? What do you think of this? Wait for it. Wait for it. Just... there we go. Oh, these are literally the best things ever. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, don't worry about it. Fucking ads! Goddamn ads! They just bring something out in me, guys. They bring something out in me. Yes. Yes. They are, like, double hinged because of my epilepsy, so if I have a seizure, it doesn't break them, so, yeah, they can literally swivel. They're fucking awesome. Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? I was like, why didn't I get these off the bat? But they have the stupid nose piece. They don't have them in, like, Ray-Bans that have that arch to them. So I have to have, like, you know, the nose piece things as opposed to, like, just the plastic covering. Because I've always hated these. I've always had the fear of getting punched in the face and having, like, the thing go into my eye and get stuck in my eye. I'm gonna show that to a friend. Hell yeah, brother. They're really, really convenient. Even if you don't have epilepsy, even if you're just like, you know, you just break your glasses all the time, maybe, you know? Maybe you drop them all the time or something. She breaks everything? Yeah, well, there you go. And you wouldn't have to worry about it, right? Which is super convenient. Especially when it comes to the arms, because the arms are the worst. Usually I'll just pop out a lens and bend something, you can bend it back into shape, but you break the arms, and you're fucked. She's one of those ones you need the spectacles with an elastic band that just goes around your head like goggles. And then they're just plastic. Wait. Toke. 3, 2, 1. Toke. Fuck, I have no water. I'll be right back. We never saw Scotty again. True. So you ever watch The Prestige, Raymond? Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale? Are you the man who goes in the box, or are you the man that comes out the other side? You never know. But you do know, because he does know. He was the one when it happened to him, and he turned it all around. I'm the box. Exactly. Okay, back to it. If I must praise something in myself, it is fidelity. I have been faithful to my way of thinking, to my obsessions, to my doubts. I have not yielded to the ease of dogma, though many times I was tempted by Marxism, Catholicism, various materialisms, idealisms, separatisms, nationalisms, mysticisms, psychologisms, philosophies of every kind, scientism, nihilism, Buddhism, Taoism, and atheism. Nor to easy sentimentality I have preferred silence to slogans, doubt to consecration. But fidelity, when not watched, can turn into enclosure. And I know that if one closes the circle of thought too tightly, one ends up breathing one's own stale air. So I reproach myself for not letting uncertainty wound me more often. Uncertainty is a form of life, and certainty a form of slow death. Thought needs cracks to remain true. I have lived under the suspicion that the world is not made for intelligence, and that intelligence, when it insists on existing, can only do so against the current. But that suspicion must not turn into resentment. One must go on thinking, not against the world, but within it, like someone keeping a lamp lit in the midst of a storm. And if I have learned anything about myself, if this praise and reproach serves any purpose, it is that thinking is not enough. One must think with risk. Think outward. Think even when thought trembles. I do not wish to be the cartographer of an uninhabited territory, but the witness of a clarity that still breathes. Perhaps there will come a day, if I am fortunate enough to remain alive within thought, beyond myself, when, upon finding at last the just union between rigor and tremor, between word and air, I may look upon what I have done and recognize without irony, without defense, without mask. This, yes, this is it. Nice. True. Being true to yourself and knowing your weaknesses, preying upon it for your own means. Know what makes you weak, fight against it, and make that your strength. So true. All right. Being my biggest hater. Yeah, I'm my biggest critic, right? Like, that's why, but I know that it's like I'm trying to improve one thing at a time, and I know what's the biggest thing that I think I need to improve, and then I work on that. But the difference is what, other people think. And that's probably the biggest thing. But we can do Eye of the World now. Chapter 28? I think. Hold on. 29. Chapter 29. Eyes Without Pity.